little nick that I did. Touch up paint will fix, but other than that, this side the cutting job is a lot cleaner, and I hope that's enough. And then the cab here, it's rubbing right there, so maybe we'll cut it or try to hammer it in a little bit. I definitely need to cut way more if I want to turn comfortably. I need to cut like that, which is a lot more than I wanted to. But let's check out the cab side on this side. Oh, the cab is fine. The cab is fine. It's just the bumper. I already have a bumper spacer, and to me, that's pushed out a good bit. I really wouldn't want it to push out anymore. Frankly, I would rather cut the factory bumper a little bit more than push it out. As you can kind of see the gap right here. It's not much, but it's not flush like it would be from the factory. But I mean, once I am in, I have pretty much all the clearance. I might have to trim a little bit in there as well. But yeah, it's close. I just got to cut a tiny bit more and we'll be finally clear. Kind of had an idea that I was gonna have to cut the bumpers just because these GM trucks with the square fender, you really don't get a lot of clearance. Chevy, you get slightly more clearance because it's not as square as GMC's. Their wheel wells are a little bit more like oval shaped ish. Still rectangular, but still has a little, but has more of a round curve to it. You can fit slightly bigger tires with the Chevy body style, but with the GMCs, they made it so angular everywhere, which personally I think it looks great. And especially if you're running a big lift and big wheels and tires, that pretty much most of it sits below the fender, it looks great. If you're trying to stuff tires, it doesn't always work very well. And so I kind of wanted to be transparent with you guys and kind of walk you guys through everything that we have to do to cut these trucks to make certain wheel tire fitment work. I know you're gonna see all these videos and pictures and stuff on the internet. Put that setup on your truck and then you're like, oh crap, I can't turn. How are these people doing it? And they never show how much cutting that they had to do. Even when I post a setup for my truck on the internet, people try to up me and they're like, oh, I fit 37s with that lift kit and wider wheels and tires. I'm like, oh cool, so how much cutting did you have to do? And then like they send me pictures and I'm like, yeah, that's a lot of cutting. And then most of the times they don't disclose that information, they just tell you that it can fit it. As I mentioned for the 500th time, that this video is to kind of show you guys and trying to be transparent on how much I have to cut. I want to try to do it as cleanly as possible, but I know I don't do this every day, so it's not going to look as good as somebody who does it every day at a shop. After some encouragement, here we have pretty much clearance on this side, and then the cab on this side is pretty close, and I think I need to trim this plastic fender, otherwise it might pop out. So let me show you if I have full turning radius that way. And here she is. This side has a little bit more room. Either I cut a little bit more on this side, or the bumper really isn't straight. So if we look, the bumper sticks out, or bumper is tucked in. Bumper's tucked in. I mean, it might be the same. Honestly, I don't know. But yeah, I got pretty good clearance turning this side now. Pick up all the metal pieces. And then, yeah, this side, I have this much clearance. So we should have pretty much, we should have good turning radius now after doing this much trimming. And frankly, the bumper doesn't even look that bad. It's just this little piece right here that you got to cut out, and I try to cut in as much as possible to hollow out the inside. But I'm not too mad about it. Only thing is, there's some bubbles here, but that's from the PPF. The PPF got a little too hot while I was cutting. But I think the trim job here looks pretty good. And then that's the clearance we have. I had to tuck it in a little bit. And honestly, tucking it in doesn't look too bad. And then we have this side. Like I said, it doesn't look too bad. I think I did a pretty good job trimming for somebody who doesn't ever trim. This doesn't look the best though. I'll have to do something about this whenever I paint it. And then we have this side. This cab should have more clearance, but for some reason it actually wants to hit this fender flare right here. So I'll have to hollow out the inside right here. But yep, it's like very minimal trimming, I would say. And after this, I should have a good bit of freedom to turn. And I know I needed to trim badly because I was ruining these tires. I was tearing up these Nittos, and they're brand new. And you guys know the Nittos aren't very cheap either, so. All right, so I hope this video was able to kind of help you guys out. And as I mentioned in like part 1, 2, and 3 of installing this lift kit, I really didn't want to trim. This truck is like my dream truck, my baby. This is the newest vehicle I've ever owned, and I say that because I bought this truck with like 12,000 miles. 13,000 miles, and I didn't think I was able to buy this truck when I did. Here is my 2020 Duramax AT4 with 13,000 miles on it. I'm gonna do a whole walk around video. Here we have the rough country lift, and you guys are probably wondering, why does this $80,000 truck have quote unquote the cheapest lift kit you can buy? And I'm gonna explain to you exactly why it has rough country lift. Cognito upper control arms, it does have rough country shocks, 24x14 TIS wheels, 37 1350 or 37 1350 Toyo MTs. This hitch did come with the truck, so this is actually designed specifically for the multi-pro tailgate. A lot of people already actually messaged me telling me to be careful putting a hitch on, which I appreciate you guys, but check this out. There you go. That cutout right there on the hitch is there so your tailgate doesn't hit it. And it was like a big investment at the time, and I really just didn't want to cut the bumper. But at the end of the day, minimal trimming doesn't look bad. I really didn't want to hack it up and cut like half the bumper like I see on Instagram. And I'm so glad I didn't have to do that. But once I started cutting, I was like, oh, it's whatever. It doesn't look bad. And worst case scenario, we'll go with an off-road bumper, or we'll wait for somebody to buy an off-road bumper and buy their factory bumper off of them. So yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. I think I'm either gonna get a lot of people who tell me that it looks good, and then like other 50% of people are gonna be like, oh, it looks terrible, why would you cut your bumper? But it is what it is, and I'm happy with how it turned out, and I have good turning radius now, so everything is good. I will be repowder coating some of the stuff. I'm changing the theme of this truck a little bit, so I know a lot of you guys missed the 2020 content, and I'm bringing it back. And I know you guys missed a lot of the LML LML content as well. So I'm trying to bring everything back and trying to work on all of these vehicles as much as possible. And I am looking at getting a shop. So once I do that, it'll be a lot more YouTube content for you guys. And all my Duramax guys, I sell this hat, well, all my L5P guys, I sell this hat on my website. So if you like that hat, head over to JW Motorsports Co. I will put the link below right there, and the promo code L5P will get you 10% off on those hats. But as always, I will see you guys next time. Peace.